Okay, currently there are more than 6 million Americans who are living with Alzheimer's disease. The diagnosis is, of course, hard on the people who have Alzheimer's, but also their family members, and that is why they walk.
The Walk to End Alzheimer's is happening this Saturday, and here with us is one of their top fundraisers, Gannon Murphy. Gannon, thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about something that is really important and so many people deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, as you mentioned, 6 million Americans here in Georgia alone. There's over 150,000 people living with Alzheimer's. And I think one of the things that I'm really focused on is the caregiving side. Double that amount, myself, my family, my stepmother included, as caregivers. And so, you know, this weekend is going to be a great time for fellowshipping and also fundraising, wanting to raise awareness and really just getting everybody together to talk about the disease.
Give us a little bit of an idea of what that means for caregivers, because when a person gets that diagnosis, that is very meaningful for their family or the people who take care of them, as it is for the person who may have Alzheimer's.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that's really hard about this from the caregiver's perspective is there's not really a well-written out playbook. We're still learning as we go along right now, and I think this, as people become more aware of the impact of Alzheimer's, I think that we're all, as caregivers and really just members of society, more capable of dealing with the effects.
Yeah, we have, my family actually, we have a wonderful friend who took care of her husband for 8 years. 8 years. That's a long time, and I've heard people say that when you lose someone to Alzheimer's, you lose them twice. Yeah. Because you lose them as they lose their memory and forget who people are, and then you lose them again when they pass away. And you personally can attest to that.
Yeah, absolutely. My father was diagnosed in early 2018. And in retrospect, we can see Alzheimer's really exhibiting years before that. Weren't really aware that that's what was going on until the official diagnosis. But to your point, it's really hard. I will say this, and I get emotional pretty quickly, so I'll try to keep that, aside for now. But I think that, what we really concentrate on in my family is spending the time that we have with him now together. So, I do my best to check in with him on a daily basis. And as my aunt says, God willing, and the water don't rise, that'll be there with us this Saturday for the walk. So really excited about that.
Well, give us an idea. I mean, you said there's no playbook, so I'm sure that there are, different experiences for each person who has it, and of course their family members who take care of them. What are we talking about in terms of daily life? What does that look like, and how does that affect your family?
Sure, and there's certainly not any one right answer. I think a big part of it is we're learning more and more that it's not just the mental side, but the physical side. So staying on top of any kind of physical ailments, making sure that we're sending them to the doctor to check up on anything that might creep up. And then I think that really the emotional support side and being aware of the fact that a conversation that we have that seems incredibly impactful and magnified to us isn't necessarily going to be recollected the next day at all.
Right.
So it's being willing and being patient. I think that's a big part of it.
And for caregivers, it's equally important for you to get a break. So there are organizations out there that say, hey, we're going to come in for a couple hours, give you a break, let you go, get some fresh air, go to the grocery store, go to the library.
No, absolutely, and I think that's one of the big things about the Walk to End Alzheimer's and the Alzheimer's Association is that it's focused on, obviously, awareness. That's what we're doing today, talking about it. Right? It's fundraising for research. That's a huge part of the future, finding a cure for this disease. But to your point, having a 24/7 hotline for whether you're a caregiver or just a concerned friend, being able to call and say, to your question earlier, what is the playbook? What can I do? So it's a big part.
And have somebody that, you're not in it alone.
Absolutely.
There's somebody out there that's gone through the exact same thing you're going through, and you can say, how did you deal with that?
That's right.
What do I do about this?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
having that support's got to be crucial, right?
Well, and the walk is a perfect example of that, right? You're going to be surrounded by people who have similar experiences to you. You're the top fundraiser for this walk, I understand?
Absolutely. So between my company, Cinelise, and myself and the network of, I'm fortunate to have a lot of family and friends in the city, we've raised over $51,000 to date, and we're still going to keep hitting the dialing for dollars all week long before the weekend. So, the goal this year was to raise around $700,000 just in the Atlanta chapter. I think we're a little over halfway there. Last time I looked this morning, about 60%. So, we're doing an amazing job in the city of Atlanta, but, this is a national movement for the Alzheimer's Association. And, for myself and my family, obviously, we're really motivated to go out there and do what we can to raise funds.
And people can still sign up, right?
Absolutely.
For the walk?
So the walk is Saturday. You can register ahead of time. You can show up and register. That's not a problem at all. 8 o'clock in the morning, the walk begins. 8:30, the ceremonies begin. And you can donate well into the end of the year as well. So if you go onto the link on the website, and kind of follow the link along, you'll be able to figure that out.
Well, good. You just heard him. He said 60% of their goals. So you can still help.
That's right. You can.
Reach that goal.
Gannon, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate you joining us this morning to talk about a really important issue that affects so many people. Many people. You can join us this Saturday, November 5th, at the Battery at Truist Park. You can log on to AtlantaNewsFirst.com for more information.
It is